What is an effective way that you could use the summary close to close more deals and to be a better salesperson? I'm Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California. A perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about closing. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to sales, you can look at other industries and you can figure out other things that people do to be way more effective. Now, I got this book from Russel Brunson, and it's called Expert Secrets. And you know, the cool thing is Russell is fantastic at running webinars. And a webinar is just a sales presentation to get somebody for lead generation to buy a product or to raise their hand and say, hey, I want more information. And he does this thing called the stack. Now, this starts on page 177 of this book right here. He calls it the stack. And salespeople really do need to understand this. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see salespeople make is, let's say they got a product, they got a service, a widget or a gizmo, and they want to sell it, and it takes an hour and a half to go through the presentation. And then at the very end, they're like, all right, well, we're right here. It's $100,000. Let's get you started. Well, you've talked for an hour and a half, and the person doesn't really remember everything that they get. Now, one of the cool things that Russel Brunson does is he goes back and goes, hey, wait a minute. Before we talk about price, this is like how I'm going to say it. Before we talk about price, here's the thing. I want to remind you everything that you're getting. You're getting product 1, and this is what it does for you, and this is what it's worth. And product 2, and this is what you're getting, and this is what it's worth. And then he gives like a whole value of what they're getting so that the value is more than the bottom line, or it's pretty close to it, okay? So if there's one thing that you can learn from Russel Brunson, who's a cool dude, I met him, is to build the stack, to figure out how to have this conversation. So the summary close, like that's a marketing version of the summary close, but your job is to take it and adapt it and figure out how you can make it work for you. So instead of just, getting to the end of your product right here, here we are, $100,000, you've talked and reminded that person everything that they're getting. It's the summary close. And in summary, here's what you're getting. Now, it's really easy to get started, and then just tell them what they got to do. There's a million different ways to close. You can close with a question. You can close with a statement. You can give them the go fetch a rock, as Oren Clough calls it. Right? There's a lot of different ways to do it, but you got to know how to summarize everything that person's getting. Now, I will tell you that as a salesperson, if you're all the way up here in the sales call and then your energy level starts dwindling down towards the bottom, it's really tough to keep mentally focused and say, here's all the things that I need to do. And this is one of the reasons why salespeople fail, is they're not prepared to go on the sales call. They're not ready to have the conversation. They're not capable of doing what needs to be done to close. So I'm going to recommend pick up the book, Expert Secrets, page 177, talks about the stack, one of the best places that I've ever seen for learning how to do a summary close. Yes, it's for webinars, but you could use it in your sales process. So you've got one thing to do from here. Somewhere around the screen, there is a subscribe button. Find that subscribe button, click on it, so that every time a video comes out, you'll get an update. Click on it, subscribe, go ahead. Thanks for dropping by and checking out the video. We'll see you soon. Aloha.